Chapter 31. My critical hit rate is already full. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Black Knight, who'd ridden all that way, hopped off his horse. He yanked the massive great sword from his back, and a glint of cold light flashed in the icy eyes under his helmet. He raised the sword, his voice a rough growl, and pointed it at the demon hunter. Enough talk. Today, one of us dies. The demon hunter laughed, a sneer twisting his face. Ha 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 ha. You couldn't beat me decades ago, and you're no different now. You chased me all this way just to get yourself killed by my blade. If that's the case, I'm happy to oblige. In a flash, he drew his demon-hunting knife from his belt. Instantly, the blade blazed with fire, the wind whipped at his robes, and his smile was cold and cruel. We'll see who comes out on top. The Black Knight's eyes flickered. Pop started. He flicked his fingers and uncorked the potion in his hand. He downed it in one gulp, then, he slammed the bottle to the ground. Come on. He narrowed his eyes, taking a fighting stance. Potion. The demon hunter chuckled. Useless, Black Knight. No matter what you drink, the gap's still there. You're no match for me. But I'm always willing to give you another chance. Ding. The demon hunter froze, head snapping up, eyes fixed on the helmet. He must be seeing things, but he swore he saw something flash inside, and heard a weird sound. Ding star, flashed again. The demon hunter's expression turned wary. He squinted. You got some fancy hidden weapons planned for me, the Black Knight rasped. You think I'm like you? Knights of Hell don't stoop to cheap tricks. Ding star, Black Knight. Demon hunter. Both of them heard the clear dings. The Black Knight clenched his fists, eyes squeezed shut, the corner of his eye twitched. What is it? The demon hunter said, more cautiously now. Something inside your helmet just lit up again. Twice. The Black Knight gritted his teeth, still with his eyes shut. All you need to know is, it's not a hidden weapon. Ding. Black Knight. Demon hunter. A breeze blew. Magic bomb. The demon hunter's suspicion grew. No. The Black Knight ground out, fists tighter, veins bulging on his temples. Holy scroll. The demon hunter was getting more and more suspicious. No. The Black Knight seethed. Then what is it? The demon hunter's curiosity was fully engaged. The wind buffeted the Black Knight. His eyes remained closed, the corner of his eye still twitching wildly. Click star. Finally, he pulled off his helmet, revealing a shiny, bald head beneath. Ding star. The round bald head reflected the light brightly. Demon hunter. What the hell? Forehead flash bang. Omega. The Black Knight glared at his hands, muscles bulging, and gritted his teeth. A small price to pay for victory. Ding star. Bald, but stronger. Ding star. In the words of some kid, my crit chance is maxed out. Ding. He roared, raising the great sword, pointing it at the demon hunter. Dark power enveloped him like flames. In an instant, he charged at the demon hunter like a raging beast. Next year, this will be your grave. He roared, leaping 100 meters, and swung the giant sword down towards the demon hunter. Demon hunter. Omega. An hour later, Wandering Soul Lane. Knock. Another knock on the door. Welcome. Lin flashed a professional smile, looking up at the customer outside. He stopped short when he saw who it was. Demon hunter, Okeros, seriously injured. Race, human, rank. Combat strength, practically dead. The demon hunter was clutching his bloody chest, lacerations covering his body, gasping for air, and leaning against the doorframe. Blood dripped from his fingers. Damn it, just one day, and you're already this messed up. Lin's face was a mask of astonishment. Cut the crap, the demon hunter hissed, pressing hard on his chest. Just heal me. Fast. I'll pay double. Ding. Task triggered, heal the Witcher's injuries. Reward, 200 skeleton coins, 300 basic experience, plus 20 Witcher favorability, star. Lin stared, rushed to the door, helped the demon hunter inside, and sat him down. You're badly hurt, that the demon hunter wrestled off his hat, gasping, anger and frustration burning in his eyes. Ran into an old enemy. He never stood a chance before. But he was juiced up on something today, and he was relentless. Every hit was a crit. Fucking bullshit, that he cursed, chest heaving, and slammed his fist on the counter. Lin. That if he hadn't been fast, he might have really lost to that guy. He rubbed his bloodshot eyes wearily, especially that flashing bald head. Every time he went for an attack, the shiny forehead would flash right in your face. It was distracting, and blinding. That guy must have enchanted his forehead with some kind of holy attribute. That damn Baldy. Fuck him. It's gotta be the potion. If I knew who gave him that damn potion, I'd tear him apart and eat him. That he pounded the counter again in fury, then winced in pain from his injuries. Lin. Wait a minute, is he talking about me? The Black Knight bought that potion for me to deal with this demon hunter. Did I just become a target again? Lin scowled. Stay here. I'll get you a stronger healing potion from the back. Hurry. That the demon hunter was a mess of anger and pain. Lin sighed and quickly went behind the curtain to the backyard. At least the demon hunter didn't suspect him. How would a small pharmacy in the boonies get a hold of that kind of potion? Hopefully, he wouldn't find out. Otherwise, I'm screwed. In the shop, the demon hunter sat at the counter, grimacing as he poked at his bruises. He grabbed a couple of healing potions Lin had left on the counter and chugged them down. He immediately felt a little better. He glanced around. Suddenly, his eyes were drawn to an empty bottle in the corner of the counter. Buzz star. His expression froze. That's. He reached out and picked up the bottle. A memory flashed in his mind, the potion bottle that bald bastard had smashed during their fight. It was exactly the same. Chapter 32, Save a lot of lighting costs. You are listening at novelfull.audio. His eyes just went blank. Then Lin strolled out from the backyard, grinning, holding several bottles of top-tier healing potions. Hey, uncle, 200 skull coins a bottle. No surgery needed. I guarantee you'll be good as new after you down one. Huh, bang, star. A bullet zipped past Lin's ear. Lin, WTF. The demon hunter instantly lunged forward, grabbed Lin by the collar, and snarled, you little weasel. Playing innocent just now, huh? I can't believe you were the one supplying that baldy with potions. Lin looked genuinely confused. What potion? I have no idea what you're talking about. The demon hunter was livid. Don't play dumb with me. I saw that bald dude chug a potion right before our duel. The bottle was identical to the one sitting right there on your table. Lin's face went slack. He cleared his throat. Seeing the jig was up, he dropped the act. The bald dude you're talking about, is he a black knight riding a warhorse? The demon hunter tightened his grip on Lin's collar. What do you think? Lin closed his eyes, took a breath, and a smile crept across his face. Gotcha. Yeah, a few hours ago, a customer did come by and buy a whole bunch of potions at a crazy price. Super loaded. Dropped a W on my store. Huh. He became serious, yet remained polite. Lin was playing the part of a disinterested party. The demon hunter ground his teeth, his eyes flashing. What kind of potion did you sell him? Opportunity knocking. Lin's face snapped into a professional smile. Fresh off the press. This pharmacy's latest masterpiece, the critical hit potion. Massive combat boost. High quality, low price, and an absolute must-have for taking down the competition. Seriously, you can't find this stuff anywhere else. Lin adjusted his monocle, looking serious. The demon hunter spat. You actually helped a dark creature attack your own kind? Lin held up his hand, looking serious. Whoa, uncle, let's not jump to conclusions. First off, I didn't know you two were enemies. Second, he came to me looking for powerful potions and paid handsomely. I had no reason to turn him away. Third. Lin closed his eyes and held up 3 fingers. This store is open to all friendly customers. If he can buy this potion to mess you up, you can buy this potion for me to mess him up. Lin looked the demon hunter dead in the eye, sincere as could be. Just for a fellow member of the clan, I'll even give you a 20% discount. A beat of silence, the demon hunter narrowed his eyes. How many coins? Lin held up 2 fingers. 2,000 skull coins per bottle. But, since you're a long-time customer from the clan, I'll knock off 20%, making it 1,600 a bottle. Practically giving them away, the demon hunter's eyes darted back and forth. He thought for a moment, then muttered, maybe I should just kill you and rob your shop, not out of the question. Lin closed his eyes, shook his head. Uncle, we're blood. Family. Like the saying goes, you rely on your parents at home, and your kin when you're out in the world. We're closer than family, blood runs thicker than water. Besides, I'm giving you 20% off. Lin looked mournful, goosebumps popped out all over the demon hunter's skin. He'd been gone for 1 day, this kid's ability to be annoying had leveled up. Cut the crap. The demon hunter rubbed his temples, gritting his teeth. Give me whatever that bald dude bought. I got cash. Awesome. Lin instantly perked up. 10 minutes later, ding. You have completed the task, heal the Witcher's injury, and you have received rewards, skeleton coin plus 200, basic experience plus 300, and Witcher favorability plus 20. Cha-ching. Following the system prompt, Lin lined up 10 freshly brewed bottles of the critical hit potion on the counter, grinning. 10 bottles of the good stuff come to 16,000 coins, or 16 black skull coins, plus 6 bottles of regular healing potions for 300 coins, and 2 bottles of special healing potions for 600 coins. Grand total, 16,900 coins. Let's round it up to 17,000. Thanks for your business. Lin bowed deeply. The demon hunter gritted his teeth and pulled out the money from his pouch. He didn't know why, he just had a nagging feeling this kid was trying to pull something. He paid. He looked at the potion in his hand, looking hesitant. You really go bald if you drink this stuff. Truth be told, he was a little resistant. His luscious black hair had taken years to cultivate. Lin looked at him earnestly. Going bald is temporary, but strength is forever. And it's just hair, right? If you lose it, come back and see me, and I can even do a transplant. Lin suddenly imagined a genius business model. Critical hit potion plus hair transplant service equals a steady stream of cash. The demon hunter hesitated, but then he remembered almost dying at the hands of a black knight who wasn't even as strong as him, and he felt his resolve wavering. If going bald meant getting stronger, maybe it wasn't so bad. With that thought, he popped the cork. He gulped down the potion, buzz, star. Instantly, he was bathed in red light. His face was a mask of shock. Then he felt an indescribable power surging through his body. This is. His breath came in short gasps, then, a loud rip. His clothes exploded off his body, revealing bulging muscles. He could feel the power surging through him. Incredible. He realized then that the potion was the real deal. The bald knight had gotten a good deal. A gust of wind blew through. Lin watched as the demon hunter's beautiful black hair suddenly blew away. Ding! A beam of light flashed off his newly bald head. Lin. He clamped his mouth shut. He knew he'd be a dead man if he laughed, but it was hard to hold it in, because the guy in front of him was noticeably rounder and shinier than before. The demon hunter turned to stare at his shiny bald head in the mirror, muttering, bald, and stronger, ding, star. Another beam of light glinted off his forehead. Lin clapped the demon hunter on the shoulder, trying to comfort him. Hey, look at the bright side, uncle. Think about it, when you're out at night, it's like you've got your own personal light source. Saves you a bundle on lighting bills, right? It made sense, but for some reason, he had the overwhelming urge to murder this kid. Chapter 33, I thought no one would dodge. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10 minutes later, outside Wandering Soul Alley, a faint light flickered in the darkness, growing closer, like a firefly, shiny, ding, flash, ding. Suddenly, The roar of warhorses announced the arrival of the grim-faced Black Knight, his bald head gleaming. Moths swirled around his forehead, his dark eyes scanned the area, searching for the demon hunter. He'd seriously wounded him over half an hour ago, but the demon hunter had escaped as his medicine wore off. Still, he was confident the demon hunter couldn't have gone far. They'd been enemies for centuries. Killing him would boost his ranking in the dark world. He wasn't about to miss this opportunity. Then, a glint in his eye, he sensed the familiar aura from Wandering Soul Alley. "Found you," he sneered, snapping his head toward the misty blackness. "Bite." A flash of light pierced the fog. He recoiled. "What is?" He hesitated, struck by a powerful sense of familiarity. Deep in the swirling mist, a flickering halo grew closer. It pulsed every 2 seconds, emitting a bright light. He couldn't explain it, but something felt familiar, Then, a shirtless figure emerged from the shadows. The Black Knight gasped. He recognized him instantly. The demon hunter. That's... He stumbled backward. The demon hunter, wielding a long knife, his expression grim and his eyes hidden in darkness, approached. Bite. A+ halo illuminated his shiny forehead, identical to the Black Knight's own. The demon hunter stopped, his eyes piercing. He tightened his grip on his blade. "Let's finish what we started." Bite. His forehead flashed. Bite. The Black Knight's round forehead flashed in response. An unsettling silence descended. The Black Knight stared in disbelief, his eyes locking on the medicine bottle in the demon hunter's hand. He gritted his teeth. Could it be? That's right. The demon hunter's power surged. He lifted his chin, looking down at the Black Knight. "I may be bald, but I'm stronger for it." Bite. A brighter light flashed on his forehead. "Don't think you're the only one who can go bald. If I'm bald, you step aside." His eyes narrowed, burning with battle lust. The Black Knight's face darkened. "Looks like we're back to square one." Bite. His head flashed. "Indeed." The demon hunter's gaze remained fixed. Ding ding. He bobbed his head twice. "Besides, my flash rate is higher, which means..." He cracked his neck, a gust of wind whistling over his gleaming forehead. "I'm stronger than you." Ding ding ding. He flashed 3 times to emphasize his dominance. The wind howled, creating swirling eddies at their feet, the air crackling with their fighting spirit. They stood motionless, eyes narrowed, like the calm before the storm. Their power swelled, even the lights on their foreheads engaged in a furious competition. Bite, then the storm broke. No more words. In the darkness, 2 points of light hurtled toward each other, a ringing clash, swords collided, sparks flying as the 2 warriors locked blades. They pressed their foreheads together, teeth gritted. "You damn baldy, I've hated you for years. Don't think going bald makes you stronger. I'm not going to let some baldy win. Your baldness is no match for me. Try dodging this. Try copying me. I'll get you." Bang, sparks erupted. "Screw you. Bumping into me? Take this, you bastard." Bang, 2 furious points of light collided relentlessly in the darkness. Bite. "Congratulations, host, you've unlocked the achievement, Potion Pusher. Earned 200 basic experience. Potion Kingpin, by selling the same potion and earning over 20,000 skull coins, you receive a permanent bonus, +1 to all attributes, and an additional 1% profit from potion sales. Ding. You've reached level 6. The system has unlocked a new function, Horizon. Check it out anytime." Back at the counter, Lin En's mind buzzed with system notifications. He quickly allocated his 4 new attribute points to physique. "Horizon? What's that?" Lin En thought. He brought up the system interface and saw a large eye icon in the corner. "System. The horizon is born of the dark world's supreme will. It's an illusory realm overlapping the dark world, a mirror reflecting tens of millions of years. Any dark creature within the dark world can use a special, Horizon Stone, to enter the horizon with their consciousness. You can communicate with others in the horizon. Death forces you out, but causes no lasting harm." Lin En grasped the basics. It sounded like a consciousness-based world, similar to the modern internet. So, I need a horizon stone to enter. Lin En wondered. Ding. The system has seamlessly integrated the horizon. Log in for 500 skull coins per session, and the system handles the connection. That's expensive. Lin En exclaimed. Luckily, his profits had grown. He could afford to test it. Without hesitation, Lin En clicked the eye icon. Open. Instantly, Lin En felt a blow to the head. His consciousness plunged into darkness with a roaring sound. He felt a colossal will lock onto him, seeing through his soul. It was terrifying, but the sensation vanished as quickly as it came. Then, Lin En's eyes snapped open. What is this? Chapter 34. That store is a super black store. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Lin En was floored. His little shop had vanished, replaced by a colossal square that stretched beyond his sight. The sky was pitch black, and shadowy figures drifted around the square. Overhead, something like a sun, a black, shimmering eyeball, floated, watching everything. Ding. Host, you've passed the Supreme Will's screening and entered the horizon. You are in Abyss World number 11, Vision Square in Area 900. Heads up, within the square, the Supreme Will prohibits any fighting. You can check your info using the runes on your wrist. But don't go flashing your coordinates or identity around the dark world unless you absolutely have to, or you're on your own. Skull coins are the only currency here. 1,000 skull coins have been deposited for you. Lin En raised a ghostly hand and, sure enough, saw a dark blue eye rune on his wrist. He quickly collected himself. The dark world is crazier than I imagined. A massive consciousness hub like this is unbelievable. Supreme Will, that key phrase stuck with him. It had to be connected to that giant eyeball. Was it the god of this dark world? Hesitantly, Lin En touched the rune on his wrist. Instantly, information popped up in front of him. Lin En, race, alien human, identity, none, resources, 1,000 skull coins, danger level, mild, pretty bare bones. Compared to the system's usual interface, this was pretty basic. Lin En asked cautiously, System, what's your connection to the Supreme Will? You two seem kind of similar. System, no connection. Short and sweet, Lin En shrugged and scanned the area. As far as he understood, this was like a high-tech metaverse concept from Earth. Uploading your consciousness to let people access info from anywhere, and this was the perfect channel for shut-ins like him. Since they have different areas, then Plaza 900 probably covers a big chunk of territory, including Wandering Soul Alley. Lin En analyzed. While he was thinking, suddenly, a line of bright red text, made of light, flashed in front of him. Informant seeking, post an update for everyone in Square 900, fight near Wandering Soul Alley, Demon Hunter vs Black Knight. Cost, 20 skull coins. Lin En jumped. Then he noticed that many of the shadows in the square had stopped moving. They were getting the same message. Wait, you can do this? Lin En was shocked. If this was a Horizon feature, then he'd found a way to cash in on information, fast. Without hesitation, he clicked OK. Skull coin -20. A dark scene appeared before Lin En. Black mist churned, but constant explosions confirmed a fight. Then, two bright lights flashed, clashing. That's... Lin En was stunned. The picture cleared, the mist rolled away. The Black Knight and the Demon Hunter, who had visited his shop, were trading blows. Wait, their shiny heads practically glowed. Lin En felt a surge of emotion. Messages flooded the screen, the number of viewers skyrocketing to 2013. OMG. I saw them. That's the Black Knight, number 171 on the Wild Hunt list, and the Abyss Demon Hunter, number 143. They're fighting near Wandering Soul Alley. They've been enemies forever. They fought on the Hellfire Plains a couple of years ago. Hold on, do they look weird to anyone else? Are they bald? And why are their heads flashing? So strange. So distracting. I came to see a fight. Why can't I look away from their heads? It burns. It burns. My titanium eyes. I don't know why, but I feel stronger since I lost my hair. Amazing, Lin En stared as the screen filled with comments about the flashing. For some reason, he felt like he was watching barrage videos. Did this dark world keep up with the times? Lin En snapped back to reality and calmed down. This was a consciousness hub where information could be traded, he had to say. This could open a lot of doors. If he could get his shop noticed here and drum up more business, medicine sales or medical assistance would be way easier than sitting around in that shop. And if he could get into the vision, his teacher might find out about this place, but, he was still wary. First, he needed to explore the information exchange channel so he could make the best of this opportunity. Lin En looked at the ice blue rune on his wrist again. He tapped it, his identity panel popped up. He tapped it twice, a whole new panel appeared. This is... Lin En was floored. Regional channel, the screen filled with scrolling messages. This felt so familiar. Was he in another world, or an online game? This was almost too much. Lin En frowned and quickly scanned the messages. Blood doll, have you seen my mom? Message me if you find her, I'm offering a reward. Skeleton demon, stay away from her. She bit off my arm last time. She almost ate me whole. Be careful, long-haired ghost, listen up, people, that pharmacy in the alley is a scam. I bought a potion yesterday, and guess what I saw? Long-haired ghost, horrified emoji, that psycho doctor was straddling someone and cutting them up with an electric saw. I ran so fast, that the channel blew up. Blood doll, yeah. It's a total ripoff. That human doctor choked me yesterday. He gouged out my eyes, and they still hurt. Evil queen, picture, click to view. Chapter 35, The Truth is Revealed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Lin stared, subconsciously clicking on the picture. Instantly, a ridiculously cute baby, held by a tentacle popped up. Crowd? Evil queen, my daughter. Crowd. Evil queen, that human kid claimed that a daughter like this reflects the truth, kindness, and beauty in my heart. But I swear, he's the one who messed her up. All my other kids look like this. Picture attached, click to view. Lin tapped the screen. Suddenly, it filled with one horrifying image after another, twisted tentacle monsters, flesh rippers, and rotting biomass. Seriously not safe for work. Burn the ghost. Queen. Yesterday morning, I saw that human doctor at the store. He seemed to be giving a ghost baby some seriously messed up plastic surgery. Could that be your daughter, Evil Queen? Evil Queen, DM me. Details. Now, *snap, star. Lin stared, then yanked the regional channel closed. No way. How was he supposed to know this dark world had its own version of the metaverse? He finally managed to cripple that female ghost today. Was he about to get screwed over in a single day? Lin had been planning to check out the Horizon's other features, but right now, he was too freaked out to think straight. Gotta move fast. Lin logged off. The second his consciousness snapped back into his body, he bolted for the door with inhuman speed. No way he was. *slam, star. But almost as he shut the door, a sweet voice drifted in from the darkness outside. Closing up early tonight, sweetie? Scared of something? Lin froze. *tap tap tap, star. Footsteps. Moments later, a breathtakingly gorgeous woman materialized from the black mist. A seductive smile played on her lips, and waves of dark hair cascaded down her back. Her walk was pure enchantment. The blood-clad evil spirit from earlier. Lin's sanity -10. Already? Force himself to smile. Lin rubbed his temples. Just feeling a little under the weather. Decided to call it a night. The blood-clad evil spirit glided closer, slowly biting her scarlet lips. Is that so? What a shame. I wanted to thank you for being so kind to my daughter. Warning. Threat level, 79%. Lin instinctively recoiled, fumbling for the revolver at his back. It's nothing, really. Part of the job. No thanks needed. Ding. You triggered the quest. Survive. Reward, 200 skull coins, 200 basic XP, special reward X1, Lin. The blood-clad evil spirit continued to advance, her smile never faltering, her eyes were soft, almost gentle, which made it worse. The threat level kept climbing, threat level, 81%, threat level, 85%, threat level, 90%, but just as she was about to reach Lin, the squeal of wheels rolling closer echoed from the darkness, squeak, squeak, a grating, awful sound. The blood-clad evil spirit stopped dead, her smile flickering. Slowly, a hunched, wrinkled old woman pulling a cart creaked into view, greeting Lin with a toothless grin. Closing up, young man. Lin seized on the opportunity like a drowning man grabbing a life raft. He practically leaped forward, beaming. Yeah, feeling a bit off. Grandma, how was your haul today? The scavenger cackled. I'm old, nobody gives an old woman like me the time of day. But thanks to the stuff you gave me, I won't have to scavenge for days. Ha ha ha, without missing a beat, Lin replied gravely, don't say that, Grandma. I happen to have some discarded materials you might be interested in. Let me get them for you. Oh. The scavenger chuckled. Much obliged, young man. Lin darted back into the shop. He reappeared, reverently presenting the fallen hair of the demon hunter and the black knight, laying them carefully in the scavenger's cart. Ding. You gave scavenger, Witcher's long hair X1, ding. You gave scavenger, black knight's white hair X1. The scavenger gasped, her gaze turned intense, complicated. I passed those two foreigners fighting in the alley. Those light shows they were throwing around were giving an old woman like me a headache. Did they just shave their heads here? Lin grinned. Yep. Both are very good customers of mine. The scavenger paused, then smiled admiringly. Impressive, impressive. Seems like all the newcomers to Wandering Soul Alley are doing business with you, young man. You've got a bright future ahead of you. Don't have anything to give you this time, though. You mind if I take a load off in front of your shop for a while? Lin quickly helped the old woman settle down. I wouldn't have it any other way, Grandma. Please, sit as long as you like. Ding. You have completed the quest. The blood-clad evil spirit has rescinded its ill will towards you. Reward, 200 skeleton coins, 200 basic XP, special reward, Curse Diagnosis Skill Book X1. Lin's smile remained plastered on his face, but his heart had taken a trip through hell and back. He knew it, the blood-clad evil spirit had come to kill him. If not for this old woman's friendly relationship with him, he'd be dead. Young man, who's this? The scavenger turned with a smile toward the blood-clad evil spirit, standing a short distance away. Lin quickly jumped in. Oh, this is another customer of mine. A neighbor who just moved in. Very friendly and beautiful lady. The blood-clad evil spirit offered a sugary smile, a flash of cold light in her eyes. Without saying a word, she slowly turned, tossing her long hair over her shoulder. Since you're busy, I won't bother you. I made a delicious meal tonight. You wouldn't mind coming by for a visit, would you? My house is number 45. My daughter is really fond of you. Ding. You have triggered the quest, Blood Feast. Quest Branch 1, accept the invitation of the blood-clad evil spirit and go to visit. Quest Branch 2, reject the invitation of the blood-clad evil spirit and survive tonight. Quest Reward, 1000 skull coins, 500 basic XP, special reward X1, sizzle, the corners of the blood-clad evil spirit's mouth ripped back past her ears, revealing the writhing tentacles and hooked barbs inside. You won't refuse, will you? She purred. Chapter 36 Public Execution. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then she hugged herself, turned and glided back into the darkness. Her footsteps faded. Lin En sighed in relief, finally relaxing. Kid, the scavenger said with a smile. Head back, but watch yourself. Don't go stirring up trouble with the spirits. They'll haunt you forever if you do. Snapping back to attention, Lin En immediately thanked her. Either way, I owe you one, Grandma. I was in real trouble there. Happily pulling her cart, the scavenger chuckled. If it weren't for you last night, Wandering Soul Alley wouldn't even be here anymore. But I'm only helping you this once. What happens after this is none of my business. Squeak squeak, Lin En watched the old woman disappear with her cart into the black fog. His face turned serious. He hurried back to the pharmacy, checking the time. He raised an eyebrow. Guess we'll see if the old man comes back tonight. If he doesn't show, I'm in trouble. Soon, the soul lamp outside the door flickered and slowly died. Night was closing in, and still no sign of his teacher. Lin En paced back and forth. He knew it, his teacher wasn't coming back tonight. That left him with two choices, go visit the queen, or stay put until morning. But, as it stood, he couldn't last until morning. He frowned, without a word. He spent 500 skull coins and logged into the vision, hoping to get some intel. The moment he opened the regional channel, he spotted a familiar name, regional channel. Burning Ghost, Queen, did you off that human kid? Evil Spirit Queen, kid got lucky. Some scavenger with unknown powers wandered by. Seemed like she had a soft spot for the brat, so I backed off. Skeleton Demon, you don't mean the old woman with the human skin? You gotta watch yourself. She's been around since the beginning of Wandering Soul Alley. Rumor has it she's the last of some ancient, powerful monster. Real nasty piece of work. Evil Spirit Queen, intriguing, but I ain't scared of her. Evil Spirit Queen, I invited the kid over tonight. Should be a good show. If he chickens out, hee, I'll just find my own fun. Burning Ghost, all hail the queen. The comments flooded with praise. She sure had carved out a nice piece of the pie in Wandering Soul Alley in a short amount of time. Strength talks. Skeleton Devil, Queen, you think he's in the vision, watching us chat? Evil Spirit Queen, nah, that guy's too weak to get in the vision. Even if he was, so what? I'm dying to tear him apart. I'll send you all a battle report tomorrow. Evil Spirit Queen, at Human Dog Doctor, you there? You there? Evil Spirit Queen, at the bastard who messed up my daughter, you there? Come out and play. Bam, Lin En slammed the regional channel shut, eyes wide. She was coming for him, and she wasn't subtle about it. No way. Lin En went offline immediately, his face grim. He grabbed his revolver and boning knife. It wasn't much, but it was the best he had. Then he opened his panel. Skills. Infectious aura. Slightly increases the success rate of persuasion. Curse diagnosis. Can diagnose whether someone is cursed. Lin En. A weakling with maxed out charisma and 0 survival skills. Can't win a straight fight, gotta get creative. Lin En's face hardened, seeing the soul lamp die down. Lin En didn't hesitate. He quickly locked the door and stepped out of the pharmacy with the flickering lamp. The light cut through the fog, silence in the dark. Soon, Lin En stood in front of number 45 Wandering Soul Lane. He looked up at the old, run-down building. The stench of blood and mold hit him like a wall. The pig-headed demon's shop, the same pig-headed demon that got eaten. Creaking, Lin En slowly pushed open the old wooden door, holding the lamp high. Ma'am. I'm here for a visit. Lin En called out. The house was pitch black, reeking of mold. Lin En stepped inside cautiously. In the darkness, he heard a rustling sound, like something was hanging above him, chains faintly clinking. Then, whoosh, the candlesticks on the walls lit up, one by one, bathing the room in light, and Lin En saw them, rows of skinned, dried corpses, hanging upside down from chains. He could see the frozen terror on their faces. This place had been a slaughterhouse before the pig-headed demon was devoured. Lin En reached out and poked the face of a corpse hanging right in front of him. Not as good-looking as me. Lin En shook his head, shoved the corpse aside, and kept moving forward. Then, he saw a square table in the center of the room, draped in a blood-red tablecloth. 2 candlesticks flickered with faint light. A pair of high heels sat on the table. The atmosphere was indescribably bizarre. Ma'am. You in here? Lin En called out. No answer. Lin En shrugged, eyed the chair that looked like it was waiting for him, and sat down. At the same time, upstairs, countless sticky tentacles crawled along the wall. The blood-soaked evil spirit narrowed her eyes, watching the scene unfold in the dim mirror. Her eyes glittered with cruel amusement. Ladies and gentlemen, the doctor is here. Since you're all dying to see the show, enjoy. Over in the vision, the scene in the mirror was now broadcasting in real time, with 541 viewers. Blood doll, I don't know about this. He's Bloodsaw's apprentice, after all. Killing him now could bring down a whole heap of trouble. Burning ghost, queen afraid of a little killer. Bloodsaw is a psycho, and his apprentice is a mini-psycho, sure, but a human should pay the price for waltzing around Wandering Soul Alley like he owns the place. Skeleton demon, at Evil Spirit Queen, what's the plan? Before the mirror, the Evil Spirit Queen smiled coldly, tossing back her hair. I'm not going to kill him that easily. After all, he's human. And the best way to execute a human is to break his spirit first, right? Don't you want to see him soil his pants? I think that'll be fun. She glanced at the baby sleeping in the corner, her eyes burning red. If she hadn't found out it was that human, she might have been fooled. Her poor daughter, she could have been a twisted hunter. Now she was just a useless baby, all because of him. She whipped her head around, glaring into the mirror. Everyone, I've set the stage. Just sit back and watch him die. She yanked on a tentacle hanging above her, squeak, like some hidden switch. Chapter 37, Stab It In with One Blow. You are listening at novelfull.audio. First floor, Lin yawned, crossed his legs, and settled into his chair to wait. Then, out of nowhere, he heard chains clanking behind him. Lin whipped around. He saw the skinned corpses, previously hanging upside down, now standing on the floor. They weren't moving. A wave of cold, unsettling air washed over him. Lin's eyes narrowed. He slowly straightened up in his chair. Snap star. The sound made him whirl around again. The skinless corpses seemed to have moved closer. Seriously? Haunted? Lin raised an eyebrow. This time, he didn't look away. He stared directly at the corpses, watching for any movement. After what felt like forever, he blinked. The instant his eyes reopened, a skinless corpse was right in front of him, its horrifying face inches from his. Lin gasped and leaned back, stiff as a board. Second floor, the blood-clothed wraith sneered, eyes gleaming, as he watched Lin's frozen reflection in the mirror, a look of pure glee on his face. In the side channels, the other wraiths were losing it. The Blood Queen's got the fear factor down. If that were me, I'd be freaking out. Totally. All those skinned corpses coming to life. Anyone would be terrified. He's probably too scared to even blink. One blink, and they'll rip his throat out. The wraiths chattered excitedly. Then they saw Lin in the mirror, leaning back cautiously, eyes glued to the corpse. Slowly, he reached out a hand toward the corpse's mouth. What's he doing? The wraiths were puzzled. He definitely didn't seem paralyzed with fear. Click star. Right before their eyes, Lin snapped a gold tooth out of the corpse's mouth. He polished it on his sleeve, blew on it, and slipped it into his pocket. Blood-clothed wraith. Burned alive ghost. Blood doll. The regional channel went dead silent. Everyone was speechless. This wasn't how things were supposed to go. This didn't fit the script. What the heck is he doing? A dazed message appeared in the channel. Gold's valuable in the human world. It's like skull coin currency, one wraith offered, but the explanation didn't satisfy anyone. Skeleton demon, look. He's moving. Is he finally going to bail? The wraiths focused on the screen again. Lin carefully scooted out from under the corpse's arm, never taking his eyes off it. Then he moved behind the skinless body. He pulled a boning knife from his belt. Thwack. He stabbed it right into a certain opening below. Blood-clothed wraith. Blood doll, Omega. Burned ghost. He stabbed it. He really stabbed it. Watching this, every dark creature on the regional channel felt a sympathetic twinge, their sphincters clenching in fear. Thwack. Each time Lin stabbed, the viewers shuddered. Then they watched as the kid, after a dozen stabs from behind, turned and went to another skinless corpse. Thwack star. Same spot, same knife. But stabbing maniac. Omega. The regional channel dissolved into chaos. Every poke sent shivers down their spines, their anuses tightening as if they were the ones being stabbed. Something's wrong. Really wrong. These puppets aren't scaring him. He seems to be getting off on this. No. This is torture. I can't watch this skin-crawling crap. Omega Omega. He's not even scared. Lin set his sights on his next target. The blood-clothed wraith gritted his teeth and barked an order. Kill him. Instantly, the motionless corpses started twitching. One corpse opened its mouth and let out a horrifying roar at Lin, *thwack star. Before it could even finish screaming, Lin's boning knife, fresh from its posterior plunge, shot straight into its mouth. Then, the countless viewers on the channel could only watch, dumbfounded. Lin was unstoppable, one stab at a time. One stab at a time. He methodically took them down, each stab hitting a vital spot. In less than 3 minutes, dozens of skinless puppets were on the ground, defeated. The regional channels were silent. Every wraith stared, slack-jawed, at Lin's handsome back as he stood, knife in hand. Is this human seriously that badass? He just wasted them all. And he's not even sweating. Am I, a little scared? Omega Omega. Then, in the next moment, they watched Lin sprint toward the door. The wraiths perked up. He's running. But before he was even off screen for more than a few seconds, they heard the distinct sound of a motor starting. What's that noise? One wraith wondered. Then Lin burst back in, brandishing a chainsaw, looking like a maniac, yanking the starter cord. Everyone, Omega Omega? You wanna try to scare me? I'll give you something to be scared of. I'm gonna chop you all up, mince you, and feed you to my big baby, star. Before the terrified eyes of his audience, Lin unleashed the chainsaw, turning the skinless puppets into a blood-soaked Jackson Pollock painting, *screech star. Bloody, gruesome scenes filled the screen. Blood doll, screaming, turn it off. Turn it off. It's too awful. He's not even letting the corpses rest in peace. Long-haired ghost, freaking out, that's how he did it yesterday. Burned ghost, clutching his head, he's not a normal human. Queen, you can't use normal methods on him. He chops people up more brutally than you do. The regional channels were flooded with, Sanji, 1, emojis. Seeing that the audience was traumatized, the blood-clothed wraith quickly shut off the screen, fists clenched. That guy. Chapter 38. I actually want to cooperate with you. You are listening at novelfull.audio. First floor, ding. The blood doll is now terrified of you. You've gained 100 experience. Ding. The burnt ghost is now traumatized by you. You've gained 150 experience. Ding. You've successfully changed the long-haired ghost's personality trait from cowardly to autistic. You've gained 200 experience. And so on. Google search TWKN, ding. Your popularity in Wandering Soul Alley has increased by 30. Lin En. He turned, chainsaw in hand, looking around in confusion. Something was definitely off. He'd just been sawing up some puppets, so how was he suddenly racking up all this experience, and what was with those familiar names? Were they all in this room? Lin En scanned the room, holding the chainsaw and carefully searching, but didn't find anything else. Weird. Lin En shrugged, equally confused, and cleaned up the mess. He sat down in the chair as if nothing had happened, pulled a small bottle of cheap wine from his coat, poured it into a goblet, and tasted it with his eyes closed. In the regional channel, the dark creatures were finally snapping out of it, slowly recovering from the horrific scene they just witnessed. Okay, this guy has definitely been trained. And the way he was hacking those things to bits. That's gotta be the result of years of following some twisted mentor. He's not even scared of this dude. Exactly. I don't think it's gonna be easy to break this guy. That the blood-clothed evil spirit narrowed her eyes and said. So what? He's still just a weak human. He might not be afraid of the physical stuff, but there's no way he's immune to a truly unsettling ghost. Hula, she yanked hard on another tentacle hanging down beside her. In the picture, Lin En, who was savoring his wine with his eyes closed, suddenly felt a cold draft, and he shivered. The flames of the 2 candlesticks on the table flickered. Lin En jumped. He set down the wine glass, turning around and looking around at the dim room. He wondered. What's going on now? For some reason, the atmosphere seemed to have turned icy cold all of a sudden, and then, Lin En caught something out of the corner of his eye. The eyes of the portrait on the wall seemed to move. Lin En whipped around and looked in that direction. He crossed his arms and strode to the painting. He looked up at the blonde, blue-eyed aristocrat in the portrait. So, why is there an oil painting of some dude from the human world here? Lin En stared, puzzled, but what he didn't notice was, in the darkness behind him, something was approaching. Step by step, the candlelight flickered, and then, slowly, Lin En felt a chill on his shoulder, like something was pressing down on him. Almost instinctively, Lin En turned his head to look at his shoulder, and then, their eyes met. A female ghost with a pale, rotting face and blood streaming from every orifice was staring at him from point-blank range. The air was filled with an extremely awkward silence. In the regional channel, the dark creatures watching the screen held their breath, staring nervously at the scene. See? This kind of ghost is the scariest. If I turned around and saw that, I'd probably crap my pants. There's no way this human's mental fortitude is strong enough to shrug off something that creepy. That everyone watched with bated breath. In the picture, there was a brief silence of several seconds, then they suddenly saw Lin En wink at the ghost face on his shoulder. Everyone. The ghost face seemed to freeze. It could clearly sense that the human in front of it wasn't showing any fear of its appearance. Lin En closed his eyes, exhaled, and sighed. Don't waste your energy. You're another one of the lady's extras, here to mess with me, right? Tell her to cut the fancy stuff. I'm a guest here, so it's just rude to harass me like this. The ghost face paused, then its eyes widened, and it opened its mouth a good 3 feet wide and let out a terrifying roar at Lin En. Smack! Lin En slapped the ghost face with the back of his hand. Everyone. The ghost face, reeling from the sudden slap, immediately returned to its original state. Looking dazed, Lin En shook his hand and said with his eyes closed. Do you have to open your mouth that wide? Regional channel. Wait a minute. Something's wrong. Isn't that a ghost? How could he slap it like that? Omega. He can touch a ghost. Something's up. Something's definitely up. In the picture, after Lin En slapped the ghost face back to normal, he kindly reached out and grabbed the hair of the dazed ghost face. He turned and his eyes instantly fell on a headless translucent body outside Shumi behind him. Lin En kindly put her head back on the transparent body. Click, he set her down. Don't go flying your head around, don't go scaring people. Be a quiet girl. Why do you have to go around spooking people? Lin En gently smoothed the hair on her rotting cheeks. The ghost stared at him blankly, and finally couldn't help asking. How did you touch me? Lin En immediately pulled a small potion bottle from his coat with a smile, and said. I'm a pharmacist. I work with evil spirits all year round. If I didn't drink potions that let me touch them, how could I do my job? The ghost. Lin En held her hand charmingly and smiled. Girl, what's your name? Can I buy you a drink? The sudden flirtatious question left the entire regional channel in stunned silence. Everyone stared at the scene, dumbfounded. It felt like things were heading in a very strange direction. Something was wrong. Very wrong. In the picture, the female ghost was at a loss for a moment, and then she immediately remembered the hostess's instructions and forced her face into a terrifying expression. Instantly, her entire face split right down the middle. Plop, plop, 2 eyeballs fell from her eye sockets to the ground. A brief silence. Lin En didn't react. The female ghost rigidly held the pose. An incredibly awkward atmosphere spread unchecked. Aren't you scared? She finally blurted out. It was like a comedian was trying to please the audience with joke after joke, but the audience just stared blankly, refusing to play along. It was just embarrassing. Lin En coughed, patted her shoulder, and said, Your lady's already used this trick on me. I appreciate the thought, but I don't think it's going to have the effect you are looking for. Ghost. Lin En kindly helped her pick up the eyeballs from the ground and pushed them back in. Chapter 39, I've failed at studying. I've failed at studying. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Then, he showed her how to master her demeanor. He had the charisma of a truly engaging guy. Lin En approached her with a playful darkness, then gently but firmly took her wrist, a slow smile curving his lips as he said. See, there's an art to scaring people. especially those who are mentally tough. Horrific visuals alone won't break them. You gotta take it a step further. Let them witness the horror happening to themselves with their own eyes. That's when the real fear kicks in. Like this. Lin En smiled gently, still holding her wrist, drawing her inch by inch into his embrace. Creak, creak, starred out a sickening sound, like something tearing through flesh, echoed from within his clothes. His chest instantly blossomed with a horrifying stain of crimson. Feel that? Something beating. Still a little warm, right? Blood flowing. Yeah, just like you think, you're holding my heart now. In the regional channel, everyone watching held their breath, paralyzed. The sight of blood steadily spreading across his chest was horrifying, but the gentle smile on his face, that was what truly shook them to their core, a disturbing contrast that sent shivers down their spines. Sanity -1. Sanity -1. Sanity -1. In the vision, Lin En, face still calm and kind, continued to guide the ghost, inching her wrist deeper into his chest. Fear flickered in the ghost's eyes. A genuine emotion breaking through. Lin En whispered in her ear, "That's right, you have to. Squeeze the other guy's heart, let them feel the dread of losing it, then make sure they see it, watch you pull it right out of their chest." The ghost stared at her hand, grasped by him, now buried deep inside his body. Then, slowly, deliberately, Lin En extracted her hand, and there it was, a scarlet, still beating heart. She held it in her trembling hands, dripping with blood. Sanity -1. Sanity -1, Lin En continued to whisper, "And when you let them watch you tear their heart out piece by piece, their mind is already stretched to the limit." The ghost trembled, her mind at its breaking point. Every viewer in the regional channel was holding their breath, hearts pounding in their throats. Lin En whispered softly, "And at that point, all you have to do is..." Lin En suddenly threw his head back, eyes wide and wild, clawing at the air, letting out a blood-curdling scream that cut through the silence. The ghost short-circuited instantly, her face frozen in a mask of absolute terror. Lin En's scream had completely shattered her. The ghost clutched her head, screaming back. In the regional channel, every single viewer, hyper-focused and on edge, jumped out of their skin at the sudden explosion of noise. Blood doll sanity -50. Burning ghost sanity -50. Skeleton demon sanity -60. Blood clothes evil spirit sanity -40. The entire regional channel erupted in chaos, and echoing screams reverberated from every corner of Wandering Soul Alley. "I'm done. I'm done. Omega Omega. Take me home. I wanna go home. Mommy. Someone's scaring me. Can't watch anymore. Can't watch anymore." The regional channel descended into a cacophony of fear and hysteria. In the vision, Lin En couldn't contain himself, collapsing into laughter, clutching his stomach, tears streaming down his face. He plucked the faceless demon's heart from the trembling ghost, blew on it for good measure, and carefully placed it back in his bag. He gave her a thumbs up, grinning, "How's that? Pretty effective, huh? You gotta max out their anxiety, then hit them with a sudden, overwhelming shock of sound and images. Just shatters their mind. Catches them completely off guard." "Got it," the ghost, huddled in the corner, shivering, mumbled, "I got it. I got it. Just, don't come any closer." Sanity -10. Sanity -10. Ding. Blood doll's attitude towards you has changed from frightened to utterly terrified, granting you 200 base experience. Ding. Skeleton's personality trait, brave, has been converted to skittish, granting you 300 base experience. Ding. Long-haired ghost's personality trait, autistic, has been transformed into pathologically withdrawn, granting you 300 base experience. Lin En. Lin En listened to the system notifications chiming in his ears, confused. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Almost immediately, Lin En paused, realizing something. The system notification mentioned all the residents of Wandering Soul Town being present in the Vision's regional channel. Could it be that the whole scene had been broadcast to the Vision's regional channel? That's just low. Lin En's eyes narrowed as he glanced around. In the regional channel, all hell was breaking loose. Blood doll, screaming, Queen. Evil Queen of Evil. I don't think we should be watching this anymore. This guy is definitely not someone we can just mess with. Skeleton Demon, he hasn't cracked yet, but I think a few of us are about to. Burning Ghost, Omega Omega, Queen, your servant is crying. This guy has obviously been trained for this kind of thing. That the blood clothes evil spirit gritted her teeth, clenching her fists. She knew this kid was a tough nut to crack, not exactly playing with a full deck upstairs, but she never imagined he was this tough. Looks like she was going to have to get involved personally, otherwise, she'd lose all credibility with the little ghosts in Wandering Soul Alley. Smack, that she slammed her hand on the table, seething. The stream's over. I'm going to take care of him myself. You guys just wait for my good news tomorrow. That she abruptly stood up, ready to shut off the mirror's feed, but when her eyes fell on the mirror, she froze, a tremor running through her. That guy. In the live feed, Lin En had clearly located the source of the viewing. He was standing on a small stool, peering curiously into the camera with one eye. Then the camera moved abruptly. Lin En had picked up whatever had been used to spy on them. After examining it with care, he slipped it into his pocket, dead serious, asterisk. Chapter 40 Getting married and having a baby or something. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Son of a blood doll, Queen, go for it. You wanna just charge in. Grab its neck, beat it down, then chop off the head. Skeleton Demon, yeah. Don't let it even open its mouth, just finish it right away to avoid trouble later. Long-haired ghost, isn't that a little rude, crowd? Long-haired ghost, oh, never mind. Evil Queen, don't worry. If all goes well, by this time tomorrow, its head will be decorating the corner of my house, serving as my daughter's potty. With that, the evil spirit in blood-soaked robes abruptly ended the connection and narrowed her eyes, asterisk crash asterisk, tentacles erupted from her body. She clenched her teeth, and her form instantly dissolved into a large pool of crimson blood, seeping into the floor and heading down to the first floor. Instantly, the candlelight on the first floor began to flicker, drips of sticky blood began to fall from the ceiling, splattering on the floor. Then, the sticky blood began to gather, reforming into the blood-soaked evil spirit with a cracked face. She scanned the room, sharp and alert. But aside from her ghost servant, cowering and shivering. In the corner, there was no sign of Lin. Where is that kid? The blood-soaked evil spirit hissed. Her gaze snapped to her ghost servant. The ghost pointed vacantly at the wooden door leading to the corridor. Master, he said he was tired of waiting, so he decided to come find you himself. He just opened the door and went to the backyard. That little punk. That the blood-soaked evil spirit gnashed her teeth and transformed into a twisted, screaming apparition, rushing toward the door with a roar. She stormed through the backyard, searching frantically. She checked several rooms, but Lin was nowhere to be found. Then, her eyes locked on a fleeting shadow at the attic window on the second floor, her pupils constricted. He's in my boudoir. The blood-soaked evil spirit's rage reached a boiling point. She leaped, soaring to the window and throwing it open. She saw a scene that shattered her composure. In the boudoir, Lin stood by the bed, cradling the wide-eyed baby, gently stroking her little ears with an adoring look on his face. The blood-soaked evil spirit was stunned. Get away from my daughter, that the blood-soaked evil spirit bellowed, her tentacles thrashing wildly around Lin. Lin snapped out of his reverie and turned to face the enraged woman. He adjusted his monocle and said with a smile. Ma'am, is this how you treat a guest? You invited me to dinner tonight, but besides a bit of a scare downstairs, I haven't even seen you. He cradled the baby closer and sighed. It's heartbreaking. The blood-soaked evil spirit sneered. Don't play innocent with me. I know what you did to my daughter. You think you can fool me with those daytime platitudes? You're the one who did this to her, and now you're trying to tell me it's some kind of higher calling. I want to rip your face off. Lin knew he had to stay calm, otherwise, no one would believe him. Lin adjusted his monocle and said calmly, Ma'am, I don't know what you think you know, but I swear I haven't lied to you. If I ever tried to deceive you, may lightning strike me down. asterisk crack asterisk, a bolt of lightning flashed outside and struck the yard. Lin wiped his brow and said, well, you saw that. I don't know why it didn't hit me, but that proves I'm telling the truth, right? That the blood-soaked evil spirit just sneered, her expression saying, yeah, right. Lin sighed. He couldn't keep up the act any longer. He had to play his cards. He sat down on the bed, cradled the baby, and shook his head. Okay, fine, I did it. But ma'am, you gotta understand, I didn't mean any harm. Besides, when I first saw your daughter, she was a mess, covered in pustules. As a doctor with a sense of justice. Lin sighed dramatically. If I didn't fix her up, how could I say to the pig-faced demon, is this your baby? Enough already, the blood-soaked evil spirit sneered. Make it up. Keep going. See how long you can keep this charade going. Threat level, 87%. Threat level, 97%. Lin threw up his hands in mock surrender. Okay, fine, there are other reasons, and this time, I'm telling the truth. Explain. First, Lin closed his eyes, raised a finger, and said, I'm scared of dying. I knew you'd kill me the second the baby went south. You're an evil spirit, after all. The blood-soaked evil spirit sneered, that excuse is acceptable. Second, Lin tilted his head back, closing his eyes. I wanted to see if I could make a good doll. I kinda borrowed your baby to gain some experience. The blood-soaked evil spirit hissed, where's the third one? Third. Lin said awkwardly. Well, I was kinda hoping the pig-faced demon wouldn't come back for her, and I could raise her to get married. Goo goo, the baby giggled, the blood-soaked evil spirit was utterly speechless. Lin winked, adjusted his monocle, and said brightly. Just kidding. How could I, Lin, have such dirty thoughts? I just want to make a doll. He. You think this is funny? The blood-soaked evil spirit growled. Lin shook his head, closing his eyes. Not at all. The blood-soaked evil spirit almost laughed. I think it's hilarious. How about I rip your mouth off right now and make you laugh? How about that? Lin smiled calmly and said. Ma'am, I think we should sit down and talk this over. I'm no match for you, but we gotta get our priorities straight.